and Zach Allen.
I'm sorry. I got to do this, guys. I know this is weird to do in the middle of the show, but I got to go shut out the lights really fast. I'm just going to take care of these. We're going to blind all these out.
Derek is going to ruin our show lighting right now.
Real fast because we're going to talk about Scott McGough. And that's what we need to do when we talk about Scott McGough. Look, when Scott McGough comes in the game, we turn the lights out. And that's what's happening with Scott McGough lately. He's absolutely shutting the lights out. Go ahead, discuss.
Since May 14th, Scott McGough, 20 and a third innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 0 earned runs, 7 walks, 29 strikeouts, a 0 ERA, obviously, no earned runs in that stretch, and he has a 0.69 whips. There have been almost no base runners against him. The lights are now back on, so I guess that ends the conversation.
Yeah, no more Scott McGough.
No more Scott McGough talk. But
unless we're going to talk about him being a closer, we could talk about that with the lights back on because this man has been incredible. And today he was just he absolutely shut down the Brewers. And we've talked about this. We've said, God, please, could we have a reliever that comes in and just doesn't have any kind of excitement? Like, can we just maintain our lead? Can we just have a 4-run lead and end the game with a 4-run lead and not have like more than maybe a handful, base runners or anything? And Scott McGough did it in 2 innings, and it's really impressive. What he's been doing has been impressive. He does it quietly. I still think he has the stigma of those couple of bad games without considering his entire body of work this season. He's just been awesome.
Yeah, and I think it's nice because you can't trust everyone in the bullpen, but I think you know who you can trust, right? Like the starting pitching there for a little bit was rather inconsistent, where you didn't know who you're going to get from anybody. But I feel like at this point, like, okay, if Scott McGough's coming in, you're probably going to get a pretty good outing. I'm not going to name names, but there's certainly other guys in that bullpen who, when they come out, you're like, this might
Kyle Nelson.
Yeah. Like this might get hairy. And you don't feel like that with a guy like Scott McGough, and that is just a really nice feeling to have. That you have at least a couple of guys like that in the pen.
And Connor said that splitter was splitting today.
It was. I mean, he threw 22 pitches and he got 7 whiffs, and he threw and 68% of his pitches were in the strike zone. This was not like a fluke, like 2 nice innings with 1 strikeout or something. Scott McGough fooled around with an immaculate inning.
Yeah, I was going to say
in the 8th inning, he had 2 3-pitch strikeouts to start that.
How do you not, as Mike Hazens, just light up a cigar and vanity search Scott McGough's name at that point and look up old tweets and just maybe log into the burner and just give him a few little pokes at some of the comments that were made, including us, but.
How do you not, as Mike Hazen, sign this guy to an extension yesterday?
I think, that's a bigger question. Scott McGough definitely has a feel for the ball now, though, ladies and gentlemen.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and I mean, like I feel like when you're a GM, like drafting Corbin, okay, but like anybody could draft good baseball players at the top of the draft. But when you find guys like Scott McGough, that's got to be a nice feeling.
Pitched in the league in 5 years. You gotta give him credit for digging deep.
His contract is 2 years, $6.25 million with a 2025 mutual option, which as of right now, I would not necessarily count on Scott McGough holding up his side of that mutual option. But the D-backs do have Scott McGough again next season at a completely ridiculous
lifetime
price.
contract, Jesse.
Lifetime.
Right.
Retire his number. You have a stake in the team like Messi.
Yeah, absolutely. Make him an all-star at least. Make him an all-star.
Hey,